I would still like to emphasize a little bit on those most vulnerable populations around the world. And I will start by sharing a few words by one of my colleagues in Mozambique. He says, those who wonder what climate change looks like should come to Mozambique. We're bearing the brunt of actions by the world's most polluting countries. We now have malaria all year around, and we are stuck by cyclone after cyclone. So yes, as a medical humanitarian organization, we see that the crisis hits the most vulnerable people the hardest. And we know that because we see them in our waiting rooms, from Niger to Mozambique, from Honduras to Bangladesh. We treat patients for infectious diseases like malaria and dengue, for malnutrition, and for health issues linked to extreme weather events. And since last year only, since COP27, we have responded to widespread flooding in South Sudan, Kenya, severe cyclones in Myanmar and Madagascar, and to relentless heat and drought that have driven millions to the edge of starvation in the Horn of Africa. We have responded to concurrent cholera outbreaks in several countries and alarmingly high rates of dengue across the Americas. And the deadly mix of malaria with malnutrition is something that I want to raise here, has kept our pediatric wards full across the Sahel. Especially in Chad, our teams now provide prevention and treatment for malnutrition all year round. I think that so far, there's too little that has been done to protect all these vulnerable people. And many communities are faced with multiple crises. People are paying with their health and their lives for a problem that they did not create. So, as this is a global stocktake, we have to be brave and say clearly that the actions to date are failing to meet today's needs, let alone the growing challenge ahead. And the global political leadership has failed to deliver on commitments to curb emissions and to deliver on promises to support the most affected countries to adopt. I think this must change now. We had some great news. I'm really pleased to see that health is coming from the main door, as you mentioned before, and needs to stay here. Because these communities need to see climate action that equals the scale of the climate emergency. They need real commitment to take the urgent, essential, and overdue actions required to dramatically reduce the emissions. They need concrete financial and technical support to adapt to. And I think we cannot just continue to look on it. It is a humanitarian catastrophe. How many more years will go by? How many more COPs? How many more lives will be affected or lost until and before there are some concrete measures decided? Yes, I want to thank you all, Excellencies, for being also here and make it very clear that we cannot, as doctors and as humanitarians, we cannot afford further catastrophic failure.